When it comes to troubled teens and boundaries or discipline, most of us have this thing completely backwards. Let me explain. So, working in residential care, working in schools, working with disabilities, working in youth work for basically 2 decades at this point, I've noticed over and over again that the people that last, the people that make a change, and the people that are actually there for the children's best interest will put down boundaries, they'll bring in consequences, and they'll make sure that there's some actual discipline going on. When these things are happening, counterintuitively, these children know that we care, they know that we're there, they know that we'll listen to them, and they know that we're actually trying to better their lives. Best of all, by working like this and by helping our children in this way, we're making our job easier, but we're also making them a much more capable person, which is exactly what we want. We go from playing a short game where we might win the day or win the week to literally setting these children up for life and being able to leave them on their own and trust that they're going to do exactly what they need to do to get where they want to be going at the end of the day. Now, when somebody's hurt, when somebody's going through trauma, it's easy to think, or it makes sense to think, that we're going to want to give them some space, give them some leeway, and give them all of the excuses in the world. Because when we're feeling down a lot of the time, that's what we want. But what we actually need is to be pushed. If we're sick, we need to keep working. We need to keep moving. If we hurt ourselves, break an arm or something, we need to keep using that thing and build that strength back up. If we just leave everything as simple as we can have it, if we do the easy thing and the lazy thing and don't work these things, we don't get any better and everything ends up getting worse. Emotions and our children and discipline and boundaries are the exact same way. Just because someone's having a tough time doesn't mean that we need to stop everything that they need. In fact, I've seen this go completely wrong. I had a partner that decided that her daughter had gone through too much. And fair enough, she'd gone through a whole lot of stuff at this point. My partner decided that she was going to give her no boundaries. And unfortunately, just a few months of absolutely no boundaries made these bad habits and even more issues just cement in this person's character. We had to work and work and work and pull these things back out and start to bring proper boundaries and discipline in. And once they came in, anxiety disappeared, lack of confidence disappeared, just issues with thinking and expressing themselves completely disappeared, and they started to actually be a more solid and whole person, and even deeper issues started to disappear. They had a firm foundation and they were able to actually trust and to get the attention and the affection that they needed from the people around them. Because leaving them to their own devices literally left them on their own devices. And from there, they learned all kinds of garbage just from the internet and from their friends. They didn't have good influences and good role models in their lives anymore because it was a child picking their own role models. And they're going to pick each other. They're going to pick just the most insane stuff. Think about things that children watch and you know the kind of thing I'm talking about. Crazy thing is, all these TV shows are going even more this way. We need to, as the parents and the adults in these children's lives, be that good example. We need to be brave enough to cut through the caring, as bad as that sounds. We need to cut through our over caring and our want to just do things for these children. We need to be making them capable. The only way to make somebody capable is to give them the opportunity to mess things up, to give them the opportunity to learn the hard lessons, and to take the time to let them fail. It's easier to cook dinner on our own than it is to let a child cook dinner and mess things up where we're going to have to come in and fix and teach and change. Those things take time. But if we don't spend that time now, we need to spend the time later anyway, and it's much harder later than if we just did it now. We might be teaching a child to cut carrots and not cut their thumbs off one day, but if we don't do that now, imagine when they're 18, 19, 20, and they're the first time getting into a kitchen, if they don't just eat takeout because they haven't learned these skills. If we're going to jump in and take over from them, we're going to cut these opportunities away. It's the exact same with trauma. It's the exact same with anything going on in these children's lives. We need to treat them like the people that they are. They might be 10, they might be 12, they might be 14, but they're still people. They could be 72 and stuck in this same place if we keep doing everything for them, because they're never going to learn these things. We want to use boundaries to make a safe pen around these children so that they can grow, so they can experience things, so they can try things in the safety and the comfort of our guidance and our care in our own homes. A little bit of mess on the floor doesn't mean much, but not giving that opportunity and cutting this child down and putting something deep in their soul that says you can't do this, that can take a lifetime to get worked out, if it even gets worked out at all. A lot of these times, these things just stack and stack and stack until we don't even know where something started. That's why there's so many people that are doing this stuff where they're going back through and just unlocking these childhood memories and giving people a lot of freedom. we need to give our children this opportunity now. If we take this thing more seriously, if we quit thinking about ourselves and think about this 20, 30, 40, 50, 60-year-old in front of us when they're 5, 6, 7, 2 even, we can set this child up for life. We can set them on a path to actually succeed. And by being there for them and being there with them, we can start to see their deficiencies and give them the things that they want. That's where boundaries, that's where discipline, that's where actually being present and actually watching and thinking about what's going on really matters. It might take a bit more effort at the beginning, but again, I promise you, if you put in the effort now, it's going to be much easier now, or it's going to be much harder later to undo the things that we just didn't take the time to do. Time is our resource. Time is a finite thing that we've got. And again, we can spend a little bit of time now, or we can spend a heap of time later correcting these issues. That's if we're still there for our children to help them. Might as well try and get it right the first time. Might as well spend the time. Might as well put in the boundaries, put in the discipline, and make this person a great, full human being that's nice and well-rounded. I've seen it time and time again in care homes. I've seen it time and time again in teams that are just completely lazy. One of the biggest things that people like to do is lie to these children. First of all, they're like little lie detectors. It's like they can just tell these lies straight away. It kills the trust and rapport that we've built. And why would they trust us the next time if we just keep lying to them? We don't do that in our lives. Why do we expect it from our children? Tell the truth, spend the time. It's going to make everything so much better. You've got this. See you later.